皆さん、日本語を学んでいて難しいと感じるのは何ですか？おそらく 80% 以上の方が漢字と答えると思います。今日は日本で生まれ育った私が日本語の漢字は学ぶべきなのか、また漢字の勉強を楽しくする方法を紹介していこうと思います。Have you ever started studying Japanese only to feel like reading was just impossible? Here's the thing. It's said that Japanese has around 50,000 kanji. I know that number alone sounds terrifying. You're probably thinking there's no way I can learn all of those. But don't panic. Even I, as a native speaker, can't write every kanji, and there are plenty I still can't read them either. Plus, with everything becoming digital, fewer and fewer people actually write kanji by hand these days. The good news is, in everyday life, you really only need about 2,000 kanji. Much more manageable. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Megumi. I was born and raised in Okinawa, Japan. When I was 20, I studied abroad in South Korea for about a year, and that's when my passion for language learning really began. Currently, I'm working on my fourth language, German. Today, I'll share why learning kanji might be worth your time and when it isn't, some practical ways to remember kanji more effectively, and fun methods to make studying a lot less painful. As always, I put timestamps down below, so feel free to skip around the video if you feel like it. Let's get started. First, let's ask the big question. Should you actually learn kanji? Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you do want to read kanji or maybe even master them. So what are the benefits? For one, reading kanji can give you that little dopamine hit. That "yes, I understood it" moment keeps you motivated. I remember one of my university professors beaming with pride when he managed to read Japanese sign correctly. It's those small wins that keep you going. And of course, being able to read kanji is simply practical. If you live in Japan or simply just travel here, you'll come across those 2,000 everyday characters constantly. Most signs don't come with helpful little furigana. If you can't read them, you quickly feel stuck or like you're not making progress. But let's flip it around. Why wouldn't you focus on kanji? Kanji take time, and the more time you spend on writing practice, and the less time you can spend on speaking and listening. Japanese already has around 50 hiragana and 50 katakana to learn. For beginners, adding kanji on top can feel overwhelming and cause burnout. In fact, from my experience, beginners who are weak at reading often get better at conversation because they spend more time speaking. And the opposite is true. Learners who focus heavily on reading sometimes struggle with listening. So it really depends on your priorities. If your main goal is to chat with Japanese people or enjoy traveling in Japan, then definitely focus on speaking. But if you want to work in Japan or pass the exams like the JLPT, then reading and kanji will be essential. My conclusion: learn how to read kanji, but don't worry too much about writing them. Think about your own language. How often do you physically write words compared to typing them? Even Japanese natives, including me, forget kanji if they don't use regularly. I often have to check my phone for forgetting characters when I write letters to friends. So unless you personally enjoy handwriting practice, focus on recognition and reading. Writing can be a tool for memorization, but you don't need to master it. Reading, however, massively increases how much Japanese input you can observe, and language input comes through both the eyes and the ears. If you can't read kanji, you lose that visual input. and rely only on listening. That's why I think reading is worth the effort. So how do you actually learn them? You've probably heard of spaced repetition. It basically means reviewing new words before you're about to forget them, which helps move them into long-term memory. Many language apps use this system. Personally, I read through new words at night and then review them again in the morning. I don't spend hours, usually just about 30 minutes total a day. The key is to not overwhelm yourself, but spaced repetition isn't the only method. Let's talk about some other more fun ways. One of my favorite methods is reading song lyrics while listening to music. These days, you can easily find lyrics with hiragana. Just type the artist and song title plus kashi. The best part, you can start singing Japanese songs. Not does it help with kanji, but also with hiragana and katakana. When I was studying Korean, I did this all the time, and it made reading so much faster. Kanji are not random symbols. They carry meaning. For example, ki, tree, hayashi, woods, mori, forest, hi, fire, hono, flame. You can almost see the story behind the characters. My high school kanji teacher used to get really passionate about this. Explaining the background and history, it felt like piecing together a story, not just memorizing. Kanji combine to form new words. For example, kai, meeting, sha, company, kaisha, company, kai, meeting, shoku, eat, kaishoku, dining with colleagues, kai, meeting, gi, discussion, kaigi, meeting, conference. Swap them around and you get shakai, society. And the same idea applies to Korean and Chinese as well, since the characters are connected across the languages. So when you learn a single kanji like kai, study related words together. This way, one kanji unlocks a whole network of vocabulary. And here's a tip. You can even ask ChatGPT something like, what Japanese words start with the kanji kai? And you will instantly get a list of useful examples to study. This approach works for other kanji too and makes learning much more fun and interactive. So today I shared a few perspectives on kanji, focused on reading, not necessarily writing. Use spaced repetition to help things stick, and make it fun through music, kanji puzzles and word groups. And remember, even native Japanese people struggle with kanji, so don't stress too much. Enjoy the process. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested in more about Japanese and even Korean, check out my channels over here. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.